what's up guys? Welcome back to Keto Rewind. I'm Jess, and today we're gonna have a fun recipe that's gonna satisfy your urge to have everything pumpkin. Now, I just wanted to caution you on the slippery slope of keto treats. For me, I make keto cakes all the time, and my biggest complaint about them is there's like 16 servings in the cake. So when you're like me, I just want, a little treat one day. When you make a keto mug cake, it's a one serving, it's done. You don't have to look at it every day. It doesn't remind you, it doesn't haunt you, it doesn't look at you in the fridge and tempt you. So my solution on how I stay on track when it's pumpkin everything season, now that it's fall, I'm a huge pumpkin fan, is to make a keto mug cake, not a full keto cake. Plus, for me, I kind of get over things after a couple days of leftovers anyways, so it's like, this is a solution that works for me. So I wanted to share that with you. And also, I know a lot of people follow me, know how much I stress hitting the protein macros in a day. So, and another reason to use whey protein powder is in baked goods. So if you purchase some and you don't know what else to do with it other than like shakes, make a baked good like this. This is so easy. A lot of my recipes that I share involve whey protein. So I like to use the unflavored just because I like to do my own sweeteners. But you can do vanilla, whatever, but I keep unflavored in my pantry stocked at all times. So I'll link down below the current promo. So if you need to stock up on some unflavored whey protein powder, that will be down in the description box below, along with the recipe. So, but the main thing is don't go down a slippery slope and make a keto cake that has like 16 servings and it's in your face constantly. Just make a keto mug cake and move on. Get your little treat, and that's it. So anyways, I'm gonna flip the camera around and I'll show you how I'm gonna make this keto pumpkin mug cake. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna need is 2 regular old coffee mugs that are microwave safe. And I've put 1 tablespoon in this bowl, and we're gonna, of butter. If you don't wanna use butter, you want a dairy-free option, use coconut oil or something like that. I'm gonna go ahead and melt this butter real quick. Okay, so we're just gonna let that cool a second. And we're going to put in ½ teaspoon of vanilla to that. I'm gonna do all my wet ingredients first, and then we're gonna do our dry ingredients and mix them together. It just makes it easier. Remember, this is making 2 mug cakes. And I'm also gonna add to that a tablespoon of pumpkin puree. Not the pumpkin pie, pure pumpkin. And then put that there. Yes, I'm using fingers to touch my own food. Okay, and just set that aside. I'm going to get a little whisk, stir that up, and then we're going to add an egg to that, and that'll be our wet ingredients. Okay, we're going to mix that up, and then we'll start on the dry ingredients. Okay, so we're just gonna set this aside and do our wet ingredients. So we're gonna start with 1 scoop of unflavored whey protein. My scoop got way down in there. I'm gonna make a little mess here. Okay, so 1 scoop of unflavored whey protein powder. And then we have a 1/4 cup of almond flour, one tablespoon of coconut flour, one table of Swerve brown sugar if you don't have brown sugar, you can just use the golden or the classic, but the brown gives it that flavor you're looking for when you are making a pumpkin treat. So 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. And I'll link this below in case anybody isn't able to get the brown sugar locally. And 1 tablespoon of regular Lakanto Classic monk fruit sweetener. Half teaspoon of baking powder. A 1/4 teaspoon of xanthan gum. This will hold it together nicely and give that cake texture. And we have 1/2 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. And I'm generous. Probably a heaping 1/2 teaspoon if you ask me. And then a pinch of salt. Always add salt. It really brings out the flavor. So a little 3-finger pinch of salt. And make sure I have everything. Yep, we just need to stir this all together. And break up that brown sugar. And like I said, this is going to make 2, so you get to enjoy it with a friend. This is for me and Kyle. We end up probably splitting it with our kids as well. There's plenty here. It makes a pretty big mug cake. And we're going to frost it, and it's going to be so delicious. So once all of the dry ingredients are mixed, we're going to add our wet ingredients and mix it all together. It smells so delicious already. Give it a stir. And it's going to be decently thick, so don't worry about that. And then I'm just going to take a spatula and spoon it into our mugs. And if you want, and you want to get real fancy, pumpkin tastes really good with chocolate. So you could throw some pumpkin chocolate chips in there. But to me, I think it's fine on its own, but it does work real good. So the same thing in each mug. You could use 1 big mug, but it's up to you. Just figure what works best. Main thing is you just want it decently flat in there. And then we're going to put this in the microwave for 90 seconds. And it should be just right. But microwave times may vary. So the first time you make that, definitely pay attention to that. But on my microwave here, 90 seconds is all I need. All right. And now, just push that in there, flatten it out so it's nice and even. We want it to be pretty. We're going to make this a pretty cake. All right. There you have it. So we have 2 of these, 90 seconds. I'll meet you right back here. Okay, so it came out of the microwave. It's still steaming. So that you can see what it's going to look like, I'm going to go ahead and frost it pretty, but I would normally just put the whipped cream right on the top. But we're going to make a whipped topping for the top, but run your knife around the outside, and it should come right out of there. There it is. And then to make it look pretty, I just flip it this way. But we're going to let those cool because we're going to frost it, and we don't want that hot. While that's cooling off, we're going to make our whipped topping, and I'm going to get some heavy whipping cream. Now remember, this is going to make 2. So we need a 1/4 cup. Whoop, I almost got a little wild there. 1/4 cup of heavy cream. Okay, so next I'm going to add the sweetener, and I'm going to use Lakanto again. So I'm going to put a tablespoon in there. And you can sweeten it to your taste. If you want to do it with 2 tablespoons, go for it. But I like my stuff just barely sweet, so I'm just using 1 tablespoon. But if you have a little bit more of a sweet tooth, add 2 tablespoons. We're gonna go ahead and whip this up real quick. So I'm using, just to make it fast, I'm gonna use my milk frother. You can use a whisk. You do it by hand, but just for speeding it up, we're using the milk frother. And there you have it, whipped cream. And now we're gonna gently fold in a tablespoon of pumpkin puree, a ½ teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, and some vanilla, and a ¼ teaspoon vanilla. I'm gonna get a whisk and I'm gonna blend that nicely. And that is how easy it is to make the frosting. So the next thing we're gonna do is just put it on each of the keto cakes. I'm gonna cut one in half so you can see how pretty it is. So you can do whatever you want. Just make sure these are cooled off before you put the frosting on. The frosting will melt, unless you want that, if you're going for that. Okay, so now we're gonna frost our little mug cakes. So I'm gonna put a little bit in each one in the middle. And like I said, if you want your whipped cream sweeter, just add another tablespoon of like your sweetener. I used to want things a lot sweeter than I do now, so just keep that in mind. If it's not sweet enough, hit it for some more and then frost your mug cake. How delicious that looks already. Kind of makes it more like a muffin. If you want to make more frosting, go for it, but I think this was the perfect amount when I was enjoying it. Because like I said, when it's in the cup, it looks like it's a lot more frosting than this. In your mug. I've taken it out and making it pretty like this is just for show. And there you have it. 2 delicious keto pumpkin mug cakes. Yummy! Does that not look perfect? You and a friend, you got a dessert tonight. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna do a taste test real quick. Remember, don't go down the slippery slope and make some humongous cake that has like 16 servings. Stick to mug cakes, keep it simple, get it out of your system, and move on. Look at that. Doesn't that look delicious? Super moist, fluffy. So good. All right, I'm Jess. See you at the next video. You're watching Keto Rewind. Bye-bye. Recipe link down below.